What's the difference between a social media team and a community team? My name is Jacob. I work in community management at a large tech company, and this is part 4 of a series I'm doing where I'm sharing more about what it's like to work as a community manager. So let's start with the primary goals of each function. For a social media team, they're really tasked with broadcasting, brand messages, increasing visibility, and very much responsible for that public content. As for the community team, their primary goal is to foster relationships, belonging, and active participation within a specific group or space, online or in person. So let's talk about the audiences of each. So the social media team is usually speaking to a broader audience of people. It's a public-facing audience, often folks who follow or discover the brand online. The community audience could be one in which that's also very public-facing, that's open to anyone, but oftentimes it's, a niche space with existing members who already have shared interest in the brand and products ecosystem. So let's talk about metrics at a high level. This is not comprehensive by any means, it's just to give you a general picture of things. On the social media side, they're looking for that growth, they're looking for impressions, they're looking at engagement rate, follower growth, and click-through rates. On the community side, we're really looking at that member retention, we're looking at participation rate, we're also looking at engagement, such as monthly active users, MAU, that's a common metric. We also look at tracking sentiment and advocacy, as well as those peer-to-peer interactions. And that could look very different across the different initiatives that a community team is owning. So for example, maybe it's number of events, check-in rate at those events, RSVP to attendee ratio, number of participants of said program who become, a top contributor or an advocate or a community leader, stuff like that. So let's talk about the content style. On the social media side, you're looking at that more polished, marketing-oriented, optimized for shareability piece. And don't get me wrong, the social team could definitely, be part of conversational content types and, really engaging in the back and forth between their audience. It just all depends on their strategy, their social strategy, as well as aligning with brand, tone, and voice. On the community side, the content type tends to be very conversational. It also tends to be user-driven and user-led, and that's how that trust is built between members of the community. That's what the community team ultimately is helping to facilitate, that trust building. And let's talk about the interaction pattern between the two functions. With social, it's primarily one-to-many. In community, it's often one-to-one or many-to-many. That facilitation of conversations between members. Think of social as the stage broadcast to the world, and think of community as the living room, nurturing relationships in a shared space. Come back for part 5.